To this week's episode of The Perspective with Stephen and Patrick. I am Patrick.
And I'm Steven.
We're going to go ahead and get rolling in the first topic of today. And we are going to touch up on the Luka trade because we have several updates that have came out since we kind of theorized what was going on and our reasoning behind everything. Just to kind of give, some perspective on what has been confirmed from Nico Harris's perspective on why he pushed for the trade for Luka, for AD. Trading Luka for AD is first because of Luka's poor diet. And this is all alleged from my end. I don't have anything to say that I know this for certain. But these are Nico Harris's reasons. Luka has poor conditioning habits. One thing we did witness is he always had a poor attitude with refs. Seemed like every time he was shooting a ball or, driving to the goal, he was always turning around to the refs doing this. Nico Harris believed that his injuries would get worse. And because of all of these reasons, Luka was due for a max extension, which Nico Harris refused to offer him. But there's some bigger news going on as to why this trade went through. And I think Steven, you will probably want to be the one to drop that bombshell.
I mean, it's in my mind, it's still a dumb trade to start with because poor guy, they got fired Nico chants going on at the state the arena.
Yeah.
Because, AD played all of 20 something.
Yeah. And it's a ghost injury though. He went down, no one touched him. He just suddenly went down, and at first we hear AD talking about, no, I'm fine. It was just a fluke. But then a couple of days later, guess what? We hear he's out for 4 weeks? And that pretty much...
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks. The rest, you might as well call that the rest of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. But let's say this is y'all signed up for. This is y'all traded for. But as y'all know, Mark Cuban, sold the majority stake of the team. Dallas Mavericks, he was no longer owner as of November 2023, but it was reported that he would retain control of basketball operations. News broke, according to SI.com, Mark Cuban reportedly didn't want Dallas to go through with the trade. Shocking enough, he loved Luka. Luka was his guy. Kind of brought him in hopes that, I don't know, him and Dirk could kind of, train him and kind of take him under his wing, so to speak, that have him be the next great Mav. But unfortunately, Mark Cuban sold his stake in the team, and by the time he found out that the trade was going to happen, it was pretty much too late. They had already agreed to terms and had sealed it with a verbal handshake, so to speak, between Harrison and Palenko. I feel bad for the guy. So there's obviously something going on behind the scenes where he's just now just a glorified cheerleader.
Yeah.
On the sidelines now. I mean, he's been for the better part of 20 plus years as majority owner. Haven't exactly dived into the reason why he sold his majority stake, but like I say, you also hit on it last week about our last recording rather, that you felt that there was a play in casinos.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of, where there's smoke, there's fire with that. I really think that also played a role with the new ownership having the background. I think they really want to move the team out of Dallas, and there's going to be pushback from the league, pushback from the fans for them not to move because they wanted to have, I don't want to say Vegas or something like that maybe, where they can have a casino as part of the arena. So then it was pushed back with that. Their marketing chip was, okay, y'all don't want me to build this or build that. Let me give away y'all best player. So I think the ownership approved that, to go along with what you said about Nico, him not being fit, he not being in shape, which if you were traded for anybody else besides Nico Harrison, besides Anthony Davidson, That might make sense. But you traded somebody who's not been injury prone. So you kind of swapping a 25-year-old player for a 30-plus-year-old player with the same issue. Just one at least 10 years younger.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I will admit, for 30 minutes, it looked like the Dallas Mavs made the right decision. For 30 minutes, it looked like, okay, they knew, they know what they were doing.
I'm here.
And the minute that second half came, hey, Dallas Mavericks got the full AD experience.
I mean, that is, like I say, it's mind-boggling. But like I say, Cuban didn't want to go through, and he was never approached by the current owner for any advice on the situation. So I think they knew that Cuban would push back on it, so they didn't. Hey, I ain't waste my time with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't wasting my time with him. So,
And hey, folks, listen to all of this as some, business advice. If you plan to do business in the future, you always have to be on top of the deals you make. Make sure everything make sure you know every detail of what you're signing up for. I mean, because Mark Cuban emphasize the word thought. He still, had operational rights when that's not the case. Like you said, all he is a glorified cheerleader. He maintains his monetary value, but, for what he earns. But other than that, no, he has no say so.
okay, so I found an article. Okay, this was from Allstar.com back in November 2020. Mark Cuban is reportedly set to sell a majority stake in the Mavericks to Merriman Allison in the Allison family, according to Shams. At the time, he was with The Athletic, now known as the lead reporter for ESPN, lead insider for ESPN. Cuban will reportedly sell a large portion of his stake at a valuation of $3.5 billion, but will maintain full control of basketball operations, per the report from Shams. And Shams, I love you, but I can't pronounce your last name, so I'm going to call you Shams. Miriam, a widow of casino mogul Sheldon Allison, sold $2 billion worth of stock in a Las Vegas Sands Corporation on Tuesday in order to facilitate the purchase of a professional sports team for which they already have a binding purchase agreement, according to Bloomberg. So, from this article, it reports, yeah, I mean, he sold it, but it's not selling why, but he was supposed to retain operation control, which technically is an unusual agreement. Like I said, if you are this majority owner, why am I give you control or say over operations day to day when you're just a minority owner?
Right.
I'm paying all the money, I'm taking the power. I'm not listening to you after you just sold your stake in the company.
Right.
Which it's a major come up. I give him that because he only spent in 2000. He only purchased the Mavs for $285 million.
Really?
Yeah, $285 million back in 2000. But his stake his portion was valued at $3.5 billion. So I shut up and go sit down somewhere. I'm already a multi-billionaire. I just get another 3.5 billion, excuse me. Yeah, so yeah. But like I said, we know Luka was his guy. Like I said, for Mark Cuban, I said, pay attention. I mean, I watch enough on Shark Tank to know that you lose interest very quickly when somebody's not paying attention to you or not, not focused enough on their product. So for that to happen to you is mind blowing to me.
Yeah. 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 It's a learning lesson. That's an eye opener to me. I never watched Shark Tank and seen, well, if I haven't seen Mark Cuban enough on it, but that was a big eye opener to me, and when you look at it, initially you can think, well, they did him dirty, but at the same time, can you really say they did him dirty? I mean, like you said, he sold his majority stake, and obviously, him still having, I guess what operational say so. It's
Yeah,
like you said, it's an odd agreement. So uh, I can't say they did him wrong. I mean, this isn't a situation like Bill Belichick and the Patriots, where Bill Belichick was
true.
the head coach and a GM, and he had all operational say so over the team. That was in the contract, though.
Yeah,
Obviously, for Mark Cuban, this wasn't in the contract. He just saw the money and he assumed that, because he's Mark Cuban, I'm guessing, that, they would still come to him for decisions, which is not the case.
yeah. I mean, like I said, that's like asking. Like I said, I got a. Well, she probably would never see this, but got a former boss. Who is the boss? And she was, store manager for 20 plus years, kind of like Mark Cuban was. Now she left her job and came back with a company, but she works through a third party maintenance company. So that's like her coming into the store and be like, hey, why is the lines back up? Or why is this product out on the floor? You don't have no power. You don't have no say so. You can you gave up that right
Yeah.
when you stepped down as the manager.
Mhm.
So I kind of liken that to Mark Cuban at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that it's interesting. I think more is gonna come out on that, but maybe like I say, Nico better hire. Not saying so in a way of not saying that I know got on a black hoodie, but for that man's safety, you might need to order Social Security
Yeah.
because I mean, like I say, the Nico fire Nico chance and all that only gonna grow the longer Anthony Davis not on that court.
Well, see, here's the thing. Okay. I'm about to get into my common sense / conspiracy theory territory here. And people know I'm full of them, but my conspiracy theories oftentimes make sense. And I back them up, by what's out there. So look at the way this owner did Mark Cuban. And then with all of these death threats to Nico Harrison, the owner comes out and says, no, ultimately I made the decision and I back what I support Nico Harris 100%. Nico Harris to sit there and, okay, you're safe right now, but best believe if this trade doesn't work out, and you're the one who suggested Nico, do you not think for a second that this owner won't do away with you in the off season? I mean, this is business.
Yeah,
You can't trust these people when it comes to business.
yeah. I mean, like I said, if you interfere with the bottom line, so if fans being real, if I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan and I'm really upset at this whole situation, and I stop buying tickets, I stop buying merch, and I start doing that, best believe Nico pack your bags.
Yeah.
They getting rid of you because you messing with their bottom line, you messing with they pockets, and at that point, nobody's safe after that point.
Yeah.
It's go so it's like I said, it could be you can say you in agreement, but like I said, there's enough backlash come from it. Like I said, you might be like I said, you probably at some point you probably gonna want out of Dallas anyway because like I said, it's crazy. Like I say, I don't condone none of that. I get people fans and I get people, passionate, but no, don't go out there and threaten folks' lives, man. Come on now. It's just okay. You go to the game, you pay your ticket, and just swing back into Mark Cuban, who had the fan kicked out for um, yelling or leading a chant, "Fire Nico." Man, I paid money to come in here.
Yeah.
I ain't throwing nothing. I ain't yelling nothing obscure. I ain't being vulgar. I mean, I can voice my opinion because I paid for my ticket.
Right.
They say like I say, if I was yell fire Nico, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
because I pay because I paid for my ticket.
Right.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying you should fire a GM, fire a coach. We pay money. We're not happy with the product. We should be able to voice opinion within reason. Now, not go out there and be like the malice at the palace and disrespect the people
Mhm.
where the players got to come up in the stands to try to fight you.
Right.
Nothing on that level. But if I pay for a ticket, I should be able to chant or say what I want to say, as long as they ain't obscure or vulgar. I ain't like saying, "Oh, man. If I see Nico in the streets, I'm gonna knock him upside the head." Now that, okay, I get tossed out for. Man, I'm just saying, fire Nico. Come on, Cuban. That's not a good look.
Right. But folks, just leave it in the comments on, your take on this situation. If you think differently than us, then I'd definitely like to know. Might open our minds up to that's right. We're gonna get into the failure that is the NBA All-Star weekend. And I can't emphasize the word failure.
I mean, failure is the best way to put it. Is absolutely the best way to put it. I mean, I don't know a professional league that has a legit good formula for All-Star weekend. Maybe outside of baseball. Baseball, okay. Once they got rid of the rule that the winning All-Star team, receive home field advantage in the World Series. But I think now they just rotate between AL and NL every year, or whoever the team with legit best record actually gets home field advantage, not decided by All-Star game. Home run derby is pretty good. The actual All-Star game is fairly decent when it comes to the MLB. Can't say the same for the NFL, which is garbage. Ever since they left Hawaii, and I just see the clips of Sean Taylor lighting up Brad Mormon. And I said, why can't we get that version back? Because now it's third string cornerbacks or whoever the case may be throwing passes in a flag football game. I mean, now I will admit, I like some of the spring, not spring, the skill challenges that the NFL has offered.
Yeah.
But, they still there's some work to be done with the NFL. Just maybe do away with it. They just can't get the stars to play anyway. But nothing takes the cake as the NBA All-Star Game. Now, the previous formula for the NBA All-Star Game for folks is, you get the East versus West. I think the starters was voted on by the fans, and you got the reserves that are picked by the coaches and also players. Back then, we know, like with any professional league All-Star game, there was no defense.
Yeah.
They're literally, I mean, these guys was out scoring 200 points a game.
Yeah.
So, and I guess the NBA, wanting to kind of tweak it and trying to make more effort. And I think last year they went to like a shot clock list formula. I think there's no shot clock. And I think it was just first team to a certain amount of points that quarter won the quarter. And then there's like a tiebreaker for the fourth. It was something weird the last few years. But this year takes the cake. It's 4 different teams in a round robin style tournament. The first matchup is going between the OGs, which is coached or led by, or the veterans that were drafted by Shaq, versus the Rising Stars, which was drafted by Candace Parker. And I think it's a round robin tournament to, I want to say maybe 40 points, first team to 40. And then you will play the winner against the Jet Smith team and Charles Barkley team. And that winner of that matchup will play the winner of the Shaq and Candace and eventually crown the winner. Which there's a bunch of jargon for nothing. I mean, that whole setup is wild if you ask me. Just like I say, if you don't, like I say, you can't get stars to play. One, they're not healthy. And you got, a lot of players, a lot of stars backing out because of that. Like I say, there's no defense, there's no goal to actually play. So just do away with it. Like I said, there's no need for a round robin tournament. And nobody wants to watch that. I mean, it was already long and boring enough. So I got to sit through 3 games now instead of 1. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't see the point.
See, man, that's the thing. Okay, so a lot of people blame, there are two reasons for the failure of the All-Star game now. People will go back to when LeBron would. We see now, this is early in LeBron's career, how during his warm-ups before games, he'd be doing all of these amazing dunks. Then during regular season games, you'd be seeing him do all of these dunks. But the one thing LeBron refused to do was enter the slam dunk contest on the NBA level. Now, he did it in high school, but they're saying that he set the precedence for a lot of these stars to not truly participate in any of the skills challenge. Don't get me started on the skills challenge that they had going on this weekend. That was a business. But and let me say before I get into, I didn't even watch the skills challenge. I just heard about it. It was so bad people were complaining about it. That's how I
Yeah,
heard. But they're saying that LeBron started this trend where stars, these people are taken, except for the G League people, the D League or whatever, the people within the NBA aren't taking this seriously. I'm sure you've heard the story. Stephen A. Smith has told it many times where, yeah, Larry Bird and the vets, they were actually talking to these dudes, trying to get them serious. And for a while, they were amped up. But then they noticed LeBron giving them the side eye. And it's like all of the wind got sucked out of their sails as soon as they seen LeBron giving them the side eye. This was what, a few years ago? And
yeah.
yeah, since then, this has just been garbage. And then you have people call him a lizard. What's the commissioner? Adam
Adam
Silver.
Silver.
Adam Silver, who he I don't know if he's just not in touch with reality, but he cannot seem to push a product the way David Stern could.
Yeah, totally agree.
I don't know why, but I know everyone deserves a chance, but I honestly don't think he is. I don't think he's a leader. He's the leader that the NBA needs. Right now, it's about player empowerment and, letting people make decisions for their own self. Yeah, you got people that get signed here and there, but I hate to sound like a dictator, but David Stern ruled that NBA with the iron fist, and he kept it in order. And even though we complained back then, our eyes have been open now to,
Yeah,
Sternless NBA. And oh, how we miss him so much.
yeah. It's crazy 'cause we thought, oh yeah, we'll get a younger, newer, more in touch with the players style commissioner. Once Stern stepped down, Adam was the deputy. He wasn't gonna be as strict, and that's obvious. On these players, they don't have to come in suits no more. It's not a business. They come in wearing what they want to. And now he just got, like I said, the best way I could put it is, like I said, a lawless league
Yeah.
because there's really no firm punishment. There's no restrictions. Now you try to get tough with this. Oh, you can't win no postseason awards if you ain't played 60% of the games. Blah blah blah. But you set the stage for people to say, hey, I'm not playing back to backs. I'm not playing, road trips. I'm not playing this because you didn't have nothing in place to stop these players from taking these times off. And like I said, as a fan, if I'm going to see, I'm spending, a couple $100 to go to this game to see these stars and to come out to find out this stars ain't playing because they just don't want to play or nothing wrong with them. They healthy, but they I just don't want to play. I mean that don't make sense. So now you're trying to force that. Oh, you can't win no postseason awards. Who cares? Like
Right.
Joel Embiid flat out said, he don't care. He wants to be available for the playoffs in order to win a championship. So how that threaten these players? No. Then you got, like I said, you got on this All-Star game because you got mad because people complaining that it was pretty much like a race to 200 points kind of in the league. But you, like I said, you can't go and force these guys to go out and risk injury in the middle of the season. They still got a whole half of the season to go. This is kind of like the midway point, so to speak. So if you're like I say, why would you risk injury? Why would you, even owners got to be crazy to say, hey, I don't want these guys, going 100% at these things because what if I got to go out and come down funny on the ankle or roll an ankle or pull a hamstring and that messes up my chances of winning championship.
Yeah.
So they say you're not gonna get competitiveness. If this is what you're looking for, that's not gonna work. And having these things split up between 4 different teams is utterly ridiculous. I mean, because let me go through the list of players on these teams. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, Team Shaq consists of LeBron James, Steph Curry, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, James Harden, Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving. Call that team, you know, the OGs. I don't know if it's called OGs, but I'm labeling it the OGs. Then you got Donovan Mitchell, Nikola Jokic, Trae Young, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Victor Wembanyama, Pascal Siakam. I think I pronounced the name right.
You did.
Alpine Segun. That's the center for. That might be the center for the Rockets. And Carl Anthony Towns.
Say June.
Segun. Okay. For Team Kenny, you got the Young Bucks. You got Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Jarrett Jackson Jr., Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Evan Mobley, and Jalen Williams. And then a bunch of guys I ain't even worried about listing Candace Parker players because these second and third year players, I have no idea who they are. So technically, you got the matchups tonight will be Team Shaq versus Team Candace, first to 40. And then Team Kenny versus Team Chuck. And then the third game will be the winner of game 1 versus the winner of game 2. Like I said, I mean, you think about it. You got LeBron, you got Steph, you got Durant. That's the kind of the old guard, so to speak, who's chasing championships.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that I'm going to go out there and try to give 100% to beat the next generation? I ain't got nothing to prove.
Right.
Like if I'm Steph, I got my championships. If I'm Durant, I got my championship. If I'm LeBron, I got my championships. I ain't got nothing to prove to, these guys. Yeah, they would beat the snot out of me for all I care. Because, hey, my goal to get out this game is to leave healthy so that I can, potentially play for another title.
Right.
So, I mean, that should be the case for all these players. I mean, you got Donovan Mitchell, Cavaliers leading the East at the moment. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Thunder, leading the West at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I risking injury for this crazy round robin best out of whatever race to 40? I say, you think they're gonna play defense just because you put a limit of 40 points? You think they can play defense?
No, and he tries to bait them with some incentive, like a bonus or something, like he always does. Just like with this early season, end season tournament starting at the beginning of the season.
Stupid.
Yes.
Soapbox I get on about that, but I'm not.
And so I don't get it, man. I really don't. I really hope the NBA gets it together.
Okay, speaking of prize money, it's a pool of 1.8 million, which each player on the championship winning team receives 120,000. The second place team, each player receives 50,000. And the third and fourth place teams, each player receives 25,000. Come on. I'm a multi-millionaire at this point. I mean, maybe some of these young guys can like, oh, yeah, that might come in handy. Man, that ain't enough money to risk my chances for a championship. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, that's going back to, let's think about our first jobs, where I was working at Chick-fil-A earning $7 an hour, $7.50 an hour, compared to what I make now. Do you think I'm going and, doing extra work just to earn $7.50 an hour? No.
I mean, yeah, that's crazy. They're like, well, you get, it's a bonus, man. Ain't no, 1.8 million is a bonus. That's a bonus. I should have
Yeah.
split 1.8 million in between each player. No, I only get a cut of 1.8 million. No, no. You should get. I mean, 500,000 maybe. They ain't even. I mean, 125,000. I mean, if you Draymond, they'll probably cover my fines, my technical fines. If I Draymond, which I don't think he's participating in this way. But yeah, I mean, who wants? Let's say if you lose out, which let's say there's a point of you winning. So if you lose out and you come in third or fourth, I guess what 25 will maybe take care of bringing your family out to the Bay Area to enjoy the weekend. Maybe that'll cover the cost of your family coming out. But other than that, I don't see the point. It's gonna be interesting. And I say, and I say they don't figure something out. I couldn't watch one game, and just like I say, as a basketball enthusiast, it just irked me that these guys wouldn't go out there and put up some sort of effort. I mean, it's lob passes, alley oops, and jacking up the 3-point shot from the half court line. I mean, it's not really a game. And if these players don't take it serious, we shouldn't subject the fans to it. So I want to say Charlotte,
Agreed.
within the rotation in the next couple of years for All-Star game, I ain't waste my money to go to Charlotte to watch that crap. I mean, so how do you get fans excited about, like, how do you bring excitement to the city? Well, the city should want to host an All-Star game because that's extra revenue. That's hotels getting rented out. That's restaurants. That's local. I mean, there's just a big boost to the local economy at that moment. But I mean, as you might get these people who just want to say, "Hey, I'm going to the All-Star game," but I don't know. I don't get it. Like I said, but that this matchup maybe once and only year we see this because it's gonna be interesting to see with the All-Star game moving back to NBC next year and off of TNT. So I kind of get, the Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq aspect of this year's game because, they with TNT and TNT will lose right to the games moving forward. But maybe NBC was like, hey, this is a stupid idea. We're changing it up. Adam Silver, here we go. This is what we're doing. So.
And I hope so. And I've already told you this, but if it is still the same format next year when NBC has the rights, even though it's on a local channel, I'm still not going to watch it. I still refuse.
Like I said, it's due to kick off in a couple of minutes. I think it's first tip is like a little bit after 8 o'clock. But like I said, why would I subject myself to 3 games, a race to 40, which 40 points. I mean, so that should be, if we being real, a bunch of NBA players who ain't playing defense. First to 40 points will probably be equivalent of me and you going out and playing 21.
Yeah.
That's how quick that game should be. That should be a pretty decent quick game because we probably ain't playing defense on each other. We try to get rebounds and hopefully we miss a shot.
Yeah.
And get up and get to 21 points first. So, I mean, maybe it works out. Maybe it don't. Maybe, let's say, if people don't watch it and the viewership is horrible, then yeah, because I'm pretty sure I haven't had the numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure the numbers ain't awesome at this point. Because, like I say, you mentioned that you didn't watch the skills challenge, but there's a lot of, I guess, I don't know if it was joking with it or I don't know what the focus that was going to be, but I just saw how badly professional basketball players are at just doing simple drills.
Well, and from what I'm hearing about Chris Paul, and that's the slap in the face to the fans who started going. They paid their money to actually see a real skills challenge. And you go and you try to, I don't know if it's cheat the system or shortcut the system instead of actually putting in effort. Come on, man.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I won't say that was the skill challenge was won by Cleveland Cavaliers. Excuse me. Tyler Hero won the 3-point contest. Let me see if I can pull the stats on that. He scored 2 rounds at 27 a piece, which was enough to hold off Buddy Hield. I still can't believe the guys in the league, let alone participating in a 3-point contest, and Damian Lillard. So, I mean, that was just, I mean, the court was ugly. Like I said, Hero was probably the only true player that known for the 3-point shot out of all the people that participated, in my opinion. I said, Dame was a spotty 3-pointer, but he's not a go out and put up, 10 shots from behind the arc every night.
Right.
He's more of a slasher inside the paint type player. I guess congratulations to Tyler Hero for beating a bunch of nobodies. Because, I mean, we all know who the best 3-point player really is. I mean, pure shooter in the game is probably Steph. Then you got Mr. Three-Peat himself, which the All-Star Slam Dunk contest is absolutely garbage. But no offense, Mr. Matt McClung, who won it for the third year in a row, being a G Leaguer. The dunks are trash. It lack star power. I don't think I can't remember. That's how bad it is. I can't remember a slam dunk contest that I enjoyed watching. And I thought, wow, I went away impressed by what I saw. I can't remember one.
The last amazing slam dunk contest I remember is Vince Carter. The one that Vince Carter.
When he went over. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's probably, and that's probably the last true dunker. Like I said, you had a little Nate Robinson, it was impressive. He being his size, doing what he was doing. Dwight Howard in the slam dunk competition thing was garbage. And then a bunch of no-name people who I can't remember that won it between this young guy. But until we get, like I say, the stars back into it, which I don't know. With Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin has some couple of decent dunks, that just more him jumping over a car. But I don't see where, listen, I'm pulling up these scores, like, come on. I mean, and I'm looking at these dunks, and you can't tell me this was a good dunk. I mean, show of hands. The participants in the slam dunk contest was Matt McClung, the winner, Andrew Jackson Jr. of the Bucks, Stephen Castle of the Spurs, and Maxis Bazelis from the Bulls. Raise your hands if you heard of any of those players, or known them to be jump out the gym type dunkers.
Bro, it's stats, but I'm pretty sure Matt McClung had to only play one game this season to qualify to be in the slam dunk contest. That's how bad this is. They brought a guy from the G League to play in one NBA game this year to qualify to be in the slam dunk contest. On top of that, all of these dudes who participate in the slam dunk contest, I guarantee you, if you average all their averages put together for the season and NBA games, is less than 10 points.
Yeah. I take that bet, and I take the under on that bet. I mean, I think what would probably bring excitement outside of, the mainstream NBA stars, open it up to, like, you got the celebrity game that goes on earlier within the weekend. And you got, all these different, celebrities coming out to play basketball. Why not let them participate? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing. Now, I'm pretty sure they probably won't need their contracts, but I mean, Mike and Parsons try his hand at a slam dunk contest, or another NFL player, or some gymnast, or anything. Let them use props if you have to. I mean, they need to jump off a trampoline, something. I mean, it got to be something that can pique the interest in the league.
And you know what? One problem I believe is going on nowadays. I know Ice Cube has his is it 3 versus 3 league? But that still isn't on the level of an NBA, unfortunately. If you remember when we were younger, we had street ball that was really big and really popular, how they were putting out the DVDs.
And one
And
mixtapes,
yeah,
yes,
and
sir.
one mixtapes, yes. And the NBA was so threatened by the and one that they had to kind of, change their formula and change their format a little bit in order to compete. And even though the NBA ultimately won that competition, still, they had some legitimate competition where they had to step their game up. I guarantee you, if there was something like and one that would come up once again, then Adam Silver would actually get serious about this product that he is supposed to be running. And, he will quit with the pansy tactics or whatever you want to call them to, empower everyone and actually put out an all-star weekend. That's good. But that's neither here or there because I don't think we're going to have anything that comes close to competing with the NBA's and one again.
I mean let's say that would be nice. Let's say the best product is competition to the product.
Yeah.
Like I said, we know the NFL ain't gonna never. I mean, you get all these little spring leagues if you want to XFL and AFL and UFL or whatever the case may be. But none of them will be on a popularity as the NFL. Well, I mean, mostly because the one star power, name power, and a lot of other things just don't. A lot of the rules are kind of weird, and you don't think it's spring, and it's not good quality football. So, and then, like I said, you don't get viewership, you don't get people actually being in the stands going to see these games. So until then, like I say, until the NBA maybe get some kind of competition again, maybe they won't. But like I said, I wouldn't mind opening up not 3 point, slam dunk contest to people outside of just the league. I
Yeah.
mean, I think I might even attempt seeing Dominic Wickens is his old age attempt to jump. There's some of these guys on this list. I don't know these guys on this list. Man, right, and see how good Mike Nees is. Come on.
Right.
Let's see if he can still hit that free throws floater slam dunk.
Yeah. Hey, Stephen A. Smith, this is originally your idea. We're not stealing it from you. But if you need some partnerships on this, you want to go around the country on tour and get people from each city to participate in a local slam dunk contest, I'm on board to help run that with you. I got like a lot of leave. I got like 60 days worth of leave. I can take days off of work.
Hey, well, you ain't even got to pay me. Just slide me something from my hotels or maybe something to eat. But yeah, I see that. I agree. That's probably the best to recapture the magic of the 3 point contest will be that because like I said now. I mean, like I say, if you need to add props or add trampolines or add something for just and you're not even that. I'm pretty sure they guys at LA Fitness that's probably doing some dunks that we never seen or thought of.
Yeah.
You even get this. Hey, this guy is more fun to watch than this guy who's doing a simple dunk. Because I think that Jalen Brown last year. You're not a dunker. You ain't
No.
been known for no explosive, and you looked horrible in the contest. I get the reason why you want to do it, but I mean, no, there's no known. Like I say, if Ant Man was in the slam dunk contest, I think the viewership would have been up. Because
Yes.
I think he's probably the most known at the moment, powerful, physical dunker, most explosive dunker at the moment. I mean, Giannis a couple years back would have been fun to watch in a slam dunk contest.
Yeah.
When he was in his prime. I mean, we have had players that just don't participate. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, you could do something safe enough that ain't cause an injury if you want to participate. If you like I said, you're gonna participate in the All-Star game, you should be able to want to participate in slam dunk contest. And like I say, I blame LeBron for not participating in it to start with, and kind of leading the way well, I'm a big name, so y'all don't have to participate because I'm not participating.
Yeah. Now we're going to get into my Captain America 4 review. As you know, I went to see it. Well, as you don't know, actually, but I did go to see Captain America 4 yesterday. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding this movie because they've had several reshoots. The biggest outside of the reshoot controversy was number one, people thought that Anthony Mackie could not step up on the big screen and fulfill the Captain America shoes after Chris Evans. Another part of it was that once we heard who was all involved in the movie, we thought it would be reports are coming out that it would be more like a Hulk. Well, here I'm going to give my review because I don't like the way the treatment that Anthony Mackie has been getting stepping into the role. And this starts off with some comments he made that Captain America isn't America. Everyone took that and they ran with it. All they heard was that he is an American. They took that to mean anti-America. Well, if you look at the Captain America figure in the comics or even in the MCU, since when was he ever about America only? He was about the benefit of, the betterment of the world as a whole. So we take these words and then we misconstrue them. And Anthony Mackie, a lot of people misquoted him. And even I understood, someone who don't listen to Mackie a whole lot. I understood what he was saying with his comments. But nevertheless, to my review. So just to let you know, the movie is under 2 hours. It's not the 2 hours and 10 minutes that we were told it was going to be. So they did some last second cuts, rather. Basically, it's not as long as the average MCU film. And all the horrible rumors aren't true with the cuts. This movie kept me engaged from beginning to end. There is a lot of action. There is a lot of conspiracy theory that I wouldn't call it sci-fi thriller, but that little, action agent type thriller. It's a good movie for that. For all the naysayers that are saying that this isn't a Captain America film and it's a Hulk film, that's not true. While there are elements from the Hulk that's within this film, Anthony Mackie is the true lead of the film. I promise you that. And going on to, him being a true lead, he does an excellent job stepping up, being on the big screen in the Captain America role. And you know what? I'm going to say it. Even though I might get pitchfork and torches at my door tomorrow morning, Mackie is a better Captain America than Chris Evans. I'm saying that, and I'm standing, on my feet with that. I don't care who goes against me. He's better than Chris Evans. He's more charismatic, if you ask me. Maybe it's that I relate to him as a black man, possibly. But I really like his portrayal as Captain America way better than Chris Evans. He has a commanding presence on the big screen, and he does a great job presenting himself as a leader and a strong, masculine figure. All in all, sure, some people might have given this movie a 6 or a 6.5, but for me, I have to give it a 7 out of 10. This has been one of the best movies I have seen in a very, very, very long time. So no, it's not bad. It's a great movie, and for those people who are doubting it, I think they are holding on to certain things that Marvel said or Kevin Feige said to kind of set it up, saying that it's like the Winter Soldier. Yes, it has a feeling of the Winter Soldier to it, but it's not going to be the same thing. That's all I have for this review.
Oh, well, to quickly, like I said, guys, I haven't seen the movie, but just to verify um, some of the things Patrick was talking about, the the quote in question from Mr. Mackey was when you asked where he's out promoting the film overseas. His quote was, "Captain America represent a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. It's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity, someone who is trustworthy and dependable." And, the pundits and the far right and the internet crazies just took that to the screen, calling him the hire of all
Here,
things.
here we go.
Like I say, he should never, they was going to boycott the rumors of boycotting the film, even though he went back to classify what he meant by his comments. So, but some people was upset about it, trying to say he's anti-American.
That's funny. When you wonder if we can go back and look at what Chris Evans said about the Captain America uh, person a few years ago, or if you can go back and look at what Chris Evans said about Captain America a few years ago during his promotion for the film he did. And if I can't find the verbatim saying,
I think I got it. In 2021, promoting Captain America, the First Avenger, Chris Evans was quoted as saying, "I'm not trying to get lost in the American side of it. I said this before in interviews. It feels more like he should be called Captain Good. He was created at a time when there was an undeniable evil, and this guy was kind of created to fight that evil. I think everyone would agree that Nazis were bad." That was Chris Evans, 2021, promoting Captain America, the First Avenger. That he should be called Captain Good.
so what was different from what Chris Evans and Mackie said? Absolutely nothing. I know what the difference is. We both know what the difference is. And why Mackie was criticized. Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
This stuff makes me upset now. Whoa. But there you have it.
Yeah, it's crazy because even like I said, Mackie, he went up to clear it up, and his quote to clear it up was, "Let me be clear about this. I am proud American, and taking on the shield of a hero like Cap is an honor of a lifetime. I have the utmost respect for those who serve and have served our country. Cap has universal characteristics that people all over the world can relate to." He shouldn't have to go back and clarify that. I mean, just because, like I said, the back of what Chris Evans says, I kind of agree with what Chris Evans said because he shouldn't be named Captain America. He should be named Captain Good. He was a guy created to fight off the evil of the Nazis. He just so happened came from America. So if you tell me that should be called Captain France, if he was, if the writers decided to make him from France or another allied power at the time, where it made more sense for him to come from another allied power other than America. But no, he's a good guy fighting the evil of the world. So I don't see how Mackey's saying that he's not American or don't want to use the term America got to do anything with troops. He shouldn't. I don't equate. I get the character is a soldier at its core. I mean, like I say, I'm gonna defer to you a little bit because you got the military background. But are they actually people who get juiced up like Captain America in the days of military?
Not to my knowledge.
So there ain't no secret serum out there. So this is a fictional character, guys. A fictional character that has nothing that's baseless pretty much against the actual military. Like I say, I respect the troops. I thank you for your service. But there's not no guys getting experimented on to see if they could gain super strength or super abilities or anything like that. So for him to even have to apologize for that is crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
And that's why, in my opinion, Mackie, for me, is a better Captain America than Chris Evans, because Chris Evans was juiced up, whereas Mackie is just a normal black man trying to fill some shoes. Well, I say trying to fill some shoes. Who's stepping up? He's not juiced up. He's just regular like me, regular like you. So
He's Batman. He's Batman. He's Iron Man. There's no extra abilities. It's just, ability that you got from your wings and the power of the shield, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. But overall,
But
go ahead.
I'll
Go ahead.
say, let's say I've yet to chime in, actually see it, but so I can't really chime in on that aspect of it. But I was looking forward to going and seeing it, in theaters, if not, when it comes available on the streaming services. But I probably would support Mackie. Well, I don't know if I support Marvel because they think they're trying to be slick by dropping a lead African American lead movie
Yeah.
during the month of February, like they did Black Panther a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get on that soapbox today either. But they say it looked like it's performing well at the box office. Even though like I say, with all the ridicule and the backlash, they uh, anticipate the gross over 100 million between Thursday and Monday. So I think they don't really have much competition in the box office this weekend anyway. So
But I do recommend, for me, this movie is worth seeing in theaters. If I didn't have to spend more money, I would go see it in theaters again.
all right, folks. So it comes to that time of the day, time of the podcast, where I'm have crazy graphics at some point and some crazy lead-in music, or to get the kid off the chest segment. That'll come soon. That's in the works. But to get off the chest segment today, or be about somebody who, I've been kind of near and dear to my heart as a sports fan. This guy, led a team that I love dearly to the Super Bowl, even though it was in a losing effort. Maybe some feel he don't get the respect he deserves from the franchise. I've kind of felt that way, but that kind of leaning toward why now after his latest stunts, why maybe the franchise don't associate itself with him. So on a podcast with Travis Hunter about a week and a half ago, or during Super Bowl weekend, uh, Cam Newton made his comments. And if I'm getting good at my editing, I'm going to upload a video for everybody to see at this point. So Cam went on to criticize that he went to a locker room full of losers, saying that when you giving advice to Travis Hunter that you're not drafted number one because you're good, you're getting drafted to a team that was bad the previous year. Don't get me wrong, when Cam was drafted number one overall, the Panthers was 2-4 the previous year. They was carousel at the quarterback position. I think that year it was maybe a mix of Matt Moore and Jimmy Clausen. Yeah, that was his name, Jimmy Clausen. Yeah, Matt Moore, Jimmy Clausen, and it's a mess at the quarterback position. Also, they fired the coach and the GM that after that season. So we had a new head coach and a new GM combination. So yes, it was a bad team. 2-4 previous year was a bad team. But Steve Smith, a veteran guy, took obsession to it because he felt like that was kind of uncalled for. That labeling that group of guys as a bunch of losers was a little much, considering Cam had probably um couple all pro linemen on that line at the time, and Matt Khalil, and I can't think of the guard name at the time. You had an all pro wide receiver to throw the ball to. You had two guys that I won't say within his first couple of years. I don't know, was that before Cam? If I'm wrong, I apologize. Well, maybe that was before Cam went. But you had two known back that was able to rush for 1,000 yards, two all pro backs. So it wasn't a locker room full of quote unquote losers. So on his podcast last Thursday, Cam went to clarify his comments, which was quote unquote, when did we become so sensitive? When did we become so sensitive to really speaking about what the reality is? A locker room full of losers, aggressive, but true. So for the most part, you're a rookie. You can't come in making that allegations coming in as a rookie, for one. You never took a snap in the NFL. You don't know what it takes to win on the NFL level. You was a 21, 22-year-old kid trying to compare yourself to these guys who've been in the battle and been in trenches for multiple years. That was his first mistake, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I mean, do I understand where he's coming from? A part of me does. Yes, it was a bad team. They went 2-4. Yes, there's some guys on that team that didn't make the team the previous year. So yes, I guess you can label some of those players as losers. But when you start criticizing the main backbone of the team, the captains of the teams, that's kind of a slap to the face to the captains on that team that year.
Mhm.
I mean, I want to say, even had two Pro Bowl tight ends in Jimmy Shockey and Greg Olsen his first couple of years in the league also.
Yeah.
So that just a slap to the face, like I said, to that previous regime. You know you're coming into a bad situation when they fired a coach and they fired a GM. You knew you're coming into a bad situation. But for you to say that there's locker room full of losers and then say it's aggressive, but it's true. I mean, like I said, he's like I said, I think he's digging that hole to not come back to Charlotte. And at this point, that hole is dug, and he's sliding down the dirt on top of himself at this point. Because I don't get it. Cam, are your biggest supporter? I mean, I watched him play in his rookie year. Like I said, he got the team to a Super Bowl. I thought I mean, my biggest excitement as a sports fan was that 15-1 season. I was at my happiest as a football fan when the Panthers went 15-1. And they say could have probably won the Super Bowl, but different defense was on a different level. But for you to come out and criticize and not say, hey, talk, and then say with the exception of so and so, so and so, so and so, I don't think there would have been so much backlash.
Yeah.
But for you to not just, not label out all these, like I say, I'm pretty sure the starting, I don't know who's starting D tackle was that year or the starting edge was that previous year. So yeah, there might have been some or starting safety. It might have been some crappy players on the team. I don't know who led the team. Like I said, I'll probably go back and look up the stats, but I don't know who led the team in sacks that year. I mean, I don't. So yes, it probably was a bad team. And I know bad teams because we've been watching a lot of bad teams the past few years.
Yeah.
So that year when John Fox got fired, Marty Horner got fired, Dave Gettleman and Ron Rivera moved in. I mean, as expected, you got let's say you getting the number one pick truth for being bad. And can we being honest, if let's say Peyton Manning was the quarterback and he was coming off an injury, do you think that you would have got drafted at number one? Even if the team was 2-4? If you had a Drew Brees or a Phillip Rivers or a known veteran at that position, and that player just got hurt and the team's stuck because they didn't have quarterback play, do you think you would have been the need would have been to go somewhere else because they felt like Rodgers would have been back healthy, Peyton would have been back healthy, Brady would have been back healthy. So to say that it's pretty much the team need for one, and yes, it's a bad team. Yeah. If prime example, last year when the Bears had the number one overall pick from the trade from Carolina, Bears wasn't a bad team. They got the number one pick for the trade. They weren't a bad team. There's a pretty solid team. They just needed a quarterback at the time.
Right.
I mean, and some will argue that they didn't give Justin Fields enough time to prove himself. So like I said, they wasn't a bad team. So there are certain situations where it's need over position, I would say. So I think Travis Hunter going number one? Maybe not. I think that will go to either Cam or Shadur. Because who has the number one draft pick?
Man, it's right on.
Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans hold the number one pick. I mean, they just drafted Will Levis, second or third year man,
Yeah.
or going to his second or third year. He's his third year because he came out the same year Bryce.
Yeah.
So
The show.
yeah, Mr. Mayo himself.
Yeah.
If you Tennessee, do you give up on Levis in his third year and draft a quarterback to start? They got Cleveland, Giants, Patriots, and Jacksonville to round out your top five. So I mean, it's pretty much need. So I don't think, and I'm looking at all these, I don't know what position. You know he ain't playing both in the NFL, so he's gonna have to pick what side of the ball he gonna play on. And if you want to play defense, I mean, unless you just want to take a chance on his ability, I mean, you got to look at the Giants as a possibility, but that's like their fourth or fifth need at the moment. Oh, their biggest needs. It's a corner. And a lot of these guys, a lot of these teams don't need corner help until you get down to like a Jacksonville. Jacksonville main objective or biggest need at the moment is a corner. So if Jackson needs secondary help, I'm seeing somebody like Travis Hunter dropping to maybe 5. So I mean, Cam, you kind of got to kind of pick your words wisely. And if you keep taking off these alumni who are in good graces with the franchise, well, what do you think about Cam? Should we retire Cam number? Or should we elect Cam to the Hall of Honors or whatever the case may be? And they go back and you asking Moose and Smitty and Jake and Luke and all these players who, no, you keep criticizing them. No, we don't want nothing to do with Cam. Cam doing his thing. Let Cam be his way. Now, don't take away what he did for the franchise. Like I said, he's all-time leader in every statistical category when it comes to quarterbacks. I'm pretty sure. Most touchdowns, throwing yards, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he'll hold all the records. He is the team's only MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that. But you can't criticize and then want to get in bed with the people.
Right.
You can't do it.
No.
So that's all I have to say on that.
Well, I also think it's hypocritical of Mr. Cam to come out and make a statement like that, walk into a locker room full of losers, when he was the same person who criticized Anthony Richards, who said, to be honest, playing in the NFL is a lot easier than playing in college.
True.
Yeah. Anytime someone makes an outlandish statement like that, Cam jumps down their throats. And Cam said that was a sign of disrespect to everyone in the NFL, who was playing for Anthony Richardson to come out and say that. Well, Cam, you're really doing the same thing here. So, yeah, I don't know what it is about him, but like you said, it just keeps digging that hole for himself, and it's deeper and deeper and deeper. I guarantee you, if I walk in the Panther Stadium now or go to, their museum, I wonder if Cam's jersey would be found anywhere in there. Probably.
I mean, and for his attributes on the field, should they be portrayed? Absolutely. No doubt about what he contribute on the field. But if you're acting like pretty much a diva and being so critical of it, like I said, not saying that you can't be critical, not saying that you can't, criticize or do certain things, that's maybe not seen as appealing to the team. No, you can hold a team. If they garbage, they garbage. You can say they garbage. They can fix some stuff. But everything in that scenario, certain scenarios, you can't constantly poop in your hand and then clap your hands. At some point, if you go poop in your hands, wash your hands first. Don't poop your hands and start clapping. So you talk all this trash about the team and then want to be patted on the back by the team. Come on. No, it shouldn't. And I say it shouldn't work that way. Like I said, why would I want you as as an ambassador of the team when you overly critical of the team. Not saying you can't be critical, not saying that, hey, these guys ain't playing this way. These guys can play better, but you label people as locker room full of losers. So why would I send you to Germany as a Panthers ambassador when you just gonna talk smack about us
Right.
and not be in a fashionable light to a
Yeah.
fan base that we're trying to win over as the league in whole try to expand to different countries. So
Right. And then I legitimately, you saw my text when I found out that they didn't even invite him on a Germany trip or he didn't know anything about it. I felt sorry for the guy. And then you started explaining to me why that was happening. Like, okay, this all makes sense now.
yeah, I mean, let's say who wants you there to be critical of my product? No, I want people in a way, yes men, so to speak. And but you could not have to be a yes man and still portray your true feelings. But like I said, that's that you kind of taking it too far. Like I say, was it maybe reality? Yes. Maybe was a majority of those guys probably not good players and was probably out of the league the following year? Yes. But the core of that team, went 12-4 a couple years prior. And then, like I said, they had the issues, Jake went down and they could never find, the answer at QB. That's why you got your job, because they didn't have answers at QB.
Yeah.
So, 'cause like I said, if the need wasn't there for them to draft a QB, you wouldn't have been number one. So, it wasn't your talent that got you number one. It was the team's the team's not being having a good record and a team need at that time.
Yeah.
Cameron, you want to invite me on 4th and 1? I'm down to that also. We could debate that on 4th and 1. Or
Yeah.
Funky Friday, I'll come down to you. I don't smoke cigars, but I come down on your to your cigar lounge and we have a conversation on your Funky Friday podcast. Hey, invitation out there, Cam. All right, thanks for joining us. Time is valuable, and you chose to spend it with us on The Perspective. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a follow, and help us reach more listeners. We'll be back with more soon. In the meantime, explore your perspective.